Hey, it's about 3 minutes before the hour. 72 degrees, going to be hot today with highs in the upper 90s. Mario Hodge, the brand new, just named police chief of the 4 campuses of Central Alabama Community College, joins us this morning. Mario, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Tell us a little bit about Mario Hodge's experience in law enforcement to begin with.
Well, I started in 97. Started in Lineville, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Then I moved to Alexander City, Alabama. It's where I spent the majority of my career. I worked there for 21 years. I got 25 years in law enforcement, so I spent the most of it in Alexander City.
When was the decision made to hire a police chief with our 4 community colleges, 4 campuses of Central Alabama Community College? Before you, we didn't have anything like that, right?
Right. The decision was made last month, I think, and they started the interview process and the application process.
So what do you think went into hiring of a police chief for Central Alabama Community College?
Today, they're trying to put law enforcement, full-time law enforcement in all of the community colleges.
Mm-hmm.
It's a slower process because they're not as big as the 4-year colleges, but a lot of work on the state's part had to go into it. The presidents at the actual community colleges, so a lot of stuff behind the scenes.
All right, the 4 campuses, I know we got one in Childersburg, one in Talladega, one in Alexander City. Where's the other one?
Prattville.
Okay. All right. Is that some of your fans calling you?
Yeah.
Mario Hodge, I guess, this morning, the newly named police chief for Central Alabama Community College. With 4 campuses, are you touching on all 4 of the campuses right now?
Yes, sir. I try to visit each campus once a week, maybe more sometimes when they need me.
Are we expecting other law enforcement to be hired for these campuses?
Yes, sir. Hopefully within the next year or so, the ideal goal would be get a full-time officer at each campus. But, 2 of our campuses are smaller, so it may take a little longer.
Mario Hodge, our guest this morning, newly named as police chief for Central Alabama Community College's 4 campuses. And Mario, anybody that hasn't been under a rock somewhere knows that we've seen all kind of issues with our schools as far as shootings are concerned. And I'm sure that played a role in bringing on law enforcement to the campus.
Yes, sir. It played a big role in it. And with this Uvalde, the church shooting in Birmingham, it's just getting closer and closer to home.
So what do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah.
I've been busy the first month. But what I'm trying to do now is set policies for a police department, get those in place, doing some reports for the community college that has to be done every year as far as security and stuff like that. And then taking over the actual managing of the part-time officers we have now. We have, at each campus, we have part-time officers, actual sworn law enforcement, either retired or still working at other agencies. So, and then making plans for growing the department.
So what are you on the lookout for every day?
Me, personally, and other law enforcement, just odd behavior from people. In today's world, most of these active shooters, they announce something or they put off signs somewhere, whether it's social media, friends, or family. So constantly on that, look out for that. And just trying to meet and get to know the people within the campuses.
Now, we've seen a lot of instances, Mario, where people have come from off campus,
right,
onto the campus,
yes,
and
sir,
perpetrate these violent crimes.
Yes, sir. It's tough because some of the campus, even Central Alabama, they have, it's an open campus, and people are welcome to come in, enjoy the park, the walking trails and stuff like that. So, and with the number of law enforcement you have working these campuses, it's hard to stop and see everybody that comes in. So it's the best thing is for the public when they notice stuff, odd behavior or different things on social media. If they can report things, if they see it, report it to us, and that's the best thing we can do right now.
So you carry a weapon.
Yes, sir.
Don't want to use that weapon.
No, sir.
But when split decisions, just like out in Texas, and a lot of fallout from that, you have to make split decisions. You have to know when to go and when not to go.
Yes, sir. It's most of our decisions are made in a rapidly evolving situation. So, and 9 out of 10 officers, they react the way they're trained, and they go, and their biggest goal is to stop the threat.
Yeah.
But it's just part of your training.
I don't know how many students we have on the 4 campuses of Central Alabama Community College, but ever how many it is, and the administration, they all have issues. Everybody's got issues.
Yes,
so you've got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like everyday life for police officers. I mean, especially people who deal with it every day. I mean,
I'm assuming that you have a connection with the other law enforcement agencies in the area.
Yes, sir. I do. I know a lot of them personally, so that helps. I know the chief here in Sylacauga, Mr. Johnson. I know Childersburg chief, and of course Alexander City chief. So I have some pretty good connections.
We see it every day where competition, competitiveness of hiring law enforcement officers. How difficult is that for you guys?
It's very difficult right now. I know from Alex City, being involved in that process, it's just hard to find law enforcement officers or people who actually want to go into this profession now. So there's so much liability and other certain things that discourages people, and the pay is not very good either. So.
Yeah. I'm assuming that the largest campus is Alexander City. Is that correct?
Alexander City and Childersburg are about the same right now. Prattville is going to be a rapidly growing campus, I believe.
Is that the latest campus, Prattville?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Because of the location. I mean, that Prattville is a growing area anyway. So.
Yeah. So when did you begin to look at the possibility of Mario Hodge becoming involved with law enforcement with Central Alabama Community College?
I had already been involved. I worked part-time while I was working at Alexander City, probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and then when I heard that they were going to actually do it a couple of months ago, I got to thinking about it, and I'm 25 years in now, so, and I've always aspired to be a chief, so.
Well,
it's a smaller department, but I get to design it and start it. So
that's got to make you feel good to be able to do your own thing there.
Yes, sir, and it's a great experience too.
What do you want to see evolve out of this, as far as security for our campuses? I would like to see a full-time officer at each campus, and maybe in the future, 2. If the campuses grow big enough, 2 full-time officers who are daily dedicated to the school, walking through the schools and being seen in those schools. And I'm assuming, Mario, that a lot would be public relations among the students and faculty of the schools.
Yes, sir. The officers, when I do get to hire officers, they'll be encouraged to introduce themselves to the students, know the faculty. All of that would be helpful within their jobs.
What do you tell students and faculty about being alert, watching what's going on around you? A lot of times we just kind of go to sleep. You know,
Right.
we're in our own little world and don't pay any attention to what's going on with our surroundings.
It's like I tell my family members, you know, when they're out, be observant, pay attention to what's going on around you. If you see something, take note of it. If it's something that should be reported, or you may think need to be reported, by all means call and report it to local law enforcement or even staff members. If you can report it to the faculty and staff, it would help us out a lot in preventing these tragic situations.
Mario Hodge, who is the newly named police chief for Central Alabama Community College's 4 campuses. And are you spending more time on the road or are you spending most of your time in Alexander City?
At this point, in Alexander City, trying to get some reports and things done that have to be done in the community colleges, and I'm trying to play catch up with that because I come in right at the end of it. Yeah. So spending a lot of my time on the Alex City campus, but I do get out.
Does this dream come true for you?
Yes, kind of. It was. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, so we'll see how it comes.
So, are you available for speaking engagement to civic organizations, stuff like that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How do they get in touch with you?
They can call my phone number. My cell phone number is 256-252-7325. They can call that, and we can set up a time and a place.
Yeah. So, what would you say? I'm sure we've got parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles and maybe even students of one of our 4 campuses. What would you say to these families about security and what you pledge to those individuals?
I would say that for the future, our goals are to have a full-time officer in each college walking around, meeting the students there for their protection, their security. And go back to what I said in the earlier, a lot of these people that are caught based on signs they put out before they do it. They want to be in the social media. So if the students or the parents see anything, just report it. Report it to law enforcement. Report it to faculty. That gives us a head start on stopping that behavior.
You know, that saying, see something, say something.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Mario Hodge, who is the newly named police chief for Central Alabama Community College's 4 campuses, our guest this morning. Mario, thanks for coming by this morning. I know it's a busy time for you, but we do thank you for taking the time to drop by.
Thank you.
Mario Hodge, the police chief for Central Alabama Community College. More Daybreak right after this.